So, Attack on Titan Season 4's newest episode just aired Sunday, and it was...
Oh my god! Oh shit! Oh! Oh me!
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was Attack on Titan. I obviously enjoyed it. Obviously a lot of people enjoyed it, but at the same time, a lot of people really didn't. Not to come off as a Attack on Titan fanboy or anything like that, but I don't get it. So there's a couple of things that people didn't exactly like about the episode, and we're gonna break them down here today and basically tell you why you're wrong. No. I'm gonna explain why that way of thinking isn't exactly the best to have when watching this show, I guess is the best way to explain it. So we'll start with the more apparent thing that people have a problem with, which is the CGI. Personally, I think that Mappa has the best CGI that I've seen like thus far. Mappa does an amazing job with their CGI, with it not looking too clunky, not looking too out of order or anything like that. It looks as close to natural as CGI can be. You don't really expect CGI to be crazy out of this world, but let's be real, we've seen some really bad CGI and we'll get into that in just a second, but Mappa pretty much does it the best that I've seen. Now that I've established that I personally enjoy Mappa's CGI, let's take a look back to Studio With CGI, which I am almost sure that a lot of you remember. Studio With CGI was not the best. It never really like threw me off per se. I've never like had a huge problem with it, but then again, I try my best not to be like a really big anime snob. Now let's be honest, to anime fans there is no such thing as good CGI. It's all hand-drawn or nothing at all. However, when CGI is praised, it's not that it's good, it's that it's well hidden. And if you look very closely at a lot of shows that use CGI, take it as Demon Slayer does it a lot actually, and other shows such as Demon Slayer. The point is that you don't exactly strive to have fantastic CGI. What you do is that you strive to have a decent CGI hidden within well animated set pieces. It's CGI, it's decent CGI that is well hidden. Like I said, it happens a lot in Demon Slayer, and I'm sure there's a lot of other anime that do it, but that's just the first one that comes to mind. A lot of Tanjiro walking, like Tanjiro's like 3D model walking into the sunset, or jumping around a bunch of moving objects that look a lot better than his 3D CGI model. These things are well hidden. These examples are not good CGI. They're actually really bad. Like Tanjiro's 3D model in the Colossal Titan was really bad. These things were just well hidden, with Tanjiro with a lot of things happening around Tanjiro, with the arrows or whatever, the water or the sunlight, the lighting in general. And with the Colossal Titan, it was the steam, it was the moving pieces of the hand-drawn scout regiment characters flying around the attack titan, or not attack titan, but the Colossal Titan, and things like that. It was those things that made the CGI well hidden. However, when it comes to Mappa, the CGI is so well done that it doesn't exactly need to be well hidden. This is because Mappa's CGI fits very well with the aesthetic of Mappa's interpretation of Attack on Titan. If you look at what we've got of Mappa's, the first 6 episodes of Mappa's Attack on Titan, the aesthetic of each scene and set piece matches very well with the CGI. In the beginning of the season, in the first episode, you have a very desert, barren kind of landscape, and when you get the CGI Reiner, it's very how do you say, Reiner fits in well with it because of the color of Reiner's Titan. The color of Reiner's Titan is yellowish, a darkish beige, because of the hardening in the armor that's on his Titan. That makes it blend in very well with the sand desert scape that you see in the first episode. Now granted, once again, it's not that it's amazing CGI, which it is, it's really good CGI, but it's well hidden. It's not just well hidden this time, but it's well adapted. Another example, take it, the Attack Titan finally showing up after the declaration of war. You have Eren's Titan, who is big, creepy, brooding, and just scary all around, in a very dark, dingy, very impoverished space of basically a really dark city. It fits in well with the aesthetic of where the CGI appears. It's not that they are hiding the CGI, not at all. That the CGI has been basically in your face for a good amount of time, more like longer than CGI usually is. So it's not that they're hiding the CGI, it's just that the aesthetic of how the CGI model is done and the aesthetic of the set piece and the scenery around that model complements each other. Now let's talk about the new character models, which we won't talk very long about, because here's the thing, with the new character models, it just kind of is what it is. If you like the new character models, then you know that's your preference. If you don't like them, you think that they're dog shit, that's your preference too. I can't really tell you not to like the new character models, and I can't really give you a, you know, scientific, psychological reason as to why you don't like the new character models. It just is what it is. You don't like them or you do. However, what I will say is that the progression of the character models do make sense. And when I say that, I mean, take a look at what the characters look like and what they're wearing. You see them with facial hair, shorter hair, you know, different styled hair, longer hair. With Mikasa, it's shorter hair because, well, Mikasa's hair has been getting gradually shorter as the show has progressed. I mean, Mikasa, if you remember, had very long hair at the beginning of the show until Eren told her to cut it because it could get stuck in the 3D maneuver gear. And as the show progressed, the hair got shorter. Mikasa had shoulder length hair at I think during the end of season 3, and now her hair is basically into a pixie cut. Why? Because now they have more armor, more different moving parts, I would assume, in how they fixed and made the 3D maneuver gear better. Now, yes, that's more of me kind of making excuses for her short hair, but in the same vein, it also kind of just makes sense. Mikasa has constantly cut her hair shorter. The more with, what am I trying to say here? Mikasa has cut her hair shorter within respect of how much equipment she has to handle, I guess you could say. When they first got the ODM gear, she cut her hair. When they improve upon the ODM gear and now have thunder spears, she cut her hair even shorter. Of course, because, well, you don't want your hair to get stuck in your gear. And it's not just Mikasa. Sasha cut her hair too. You don't really notice it, but Sasha's hair is a lot shorter. I might be remembering Sasha's character design a lot different because I don't have it in front of me right now, but Sasha's character design, I believe, used to have like bangs. as far as I remember from the newest episode, Sasha's character design now has very tight, well kempt, short ponytail, very little to no bangs, and once again the hair is shorter. Why? Because they have a lot more equipment to work with. Why would Sasha need long hair? Sasha doesn't need to look good, she needs to be efficient. It's the same thing for Mikasa. Mikasa doesn't need to look good, she needs to be efficient. Not only that, when has Sasha or Mikasa ever been a girly girl? Those are the most tomboyish, for Mikasa, butch women that I have seen in anime. Now granted, that doesn't mean that they're unattractive, don't get me wrong. Mikasa and Sasha are very attractive character designs, but that doesn't take away from what their personalities are. They're not feminine. They're just not. Sasha is the furthest from feminine out of all the characters. Mikasa also being the furthest from feminine out of all the characters. At some point, Mikasa came in from chopping wood with an axe around her shoulder, like, yeah, I gotta stay in shape somehow. Like, these aren't feminine characters. I don't think that they're worried about what they look like. So the natural progression of these characters is not going to be, well, I gotta get prettier. Of course not. What? Why would they? As far as the armor and stuff, of course they would need armor. They're going into Marley. Marley has guns, like bullets. Why wouldn't they need armor? But to stray from the fun and games and theories and things like that, let's talk very shortly on the lost causes of the anime community, the ones that decided that the best way to go about them not appreciating the way that Mappa did things is to send in death threats to directors and animators or whatever. There's not much that you can say about that. There's not much that you can do about that. Those are just lost causes. You can't do much about that. These people are so far gone, so far from help, that there is no point in trying to help them other than getting them like professional help, I guess, or pussy. I don't really know. You really can't help those people. It is horrible, and I deeply suggest that you don't like join in on the fuckery, but yeah, those people are just very far from help. I understand that the anime community and anime fans in general are very very devout and very for the cause of what they like, but this is to a different degree that is not healthy at all. And I think a lot of people, especially like my subscribers, kind of know that. I highly doubt any of my subscribers are the kind of people that'd be like, I'm gonna send in a bomb threat to Mappa now. Like, I would hope that some of y'all are not morons, you know? In conclusion, I think that the hatred for the CGI and what Mappa did with the character designs and pretty much everything else is kind of stems from a love for things to always stay the same when it comes to anime fans. Anime fans love for things, if they like something, they want more of that something, and they want more of that something in perpetuity. And as much as I disagree with that way of thinking, because that's how you become very stagnant in your artwork, and that's how you honestly just, you don't move forward. The whole point of a lot of us loving anime is because it was something different. And that way of thinking that, oh, I like this, so it has to stay the same, is, for lack of a better word or term, kind of ignorant. Like, why would you want something to stay the same? It has to change. That's how you evolve. That's how stories evolve. That's how art forms evolve. That's how we evolve. Things have to change, and when it comes to Attack on Titan, of course things have to change. Just think about for a second where we began in Attack on Titan. Just think about where we began. If you can remember where the story began, where the animation began, where the scenery began, it has to be absolutely amazing to think about where we have ended. And not only that, if these small gripes, the CGI, the character design, the setting, or whatever it may be, if these small gripes are the only thing that you have a problem with when it comes to Attack on Titan, consider yourself lucky. Because a lot of other anime have it a lot worse, like a lot worse. Ridiculously worse. Anime adaptations from manga to anime, they have struggled. Tokyo Ghoul, Berserk, dear God, everything else. Count yourself lucky that this is the only thing as a Attack on Titan fan that you have to worry about. For a second, let's just appreciate that Mappa even picked this up. Because as much as you like Studio Wit, as much as you enjoyed what Studio Wit did, and as much as you're like, man, I want more of what Studio Wit did, I respect Studio Wit for everything that they did, Studio Wit is gone. Studio Wit basically left us in the dust. Now granted, it's because they weren't really making a lot of money off of Attack on Titan, so I can understand that, but understand that Studio Wit is gone. Studio Wit no longer wanted to do this show. In a way, for lack of a better term, Studio Wit abandoned Attack on Titan fans. I don't want to put it like that because it's not like that, but in a way, yeah, they kind of abandoned the IP. So without Mappa, we just wouldn't have Attack on Titan. And to be honest with you, Mappa did pretty damn good.